You're watching Single Process with Jo and Barb, a video series where we bring you the experts to help you go from a we to a me. We're going to talk in this episode about teens and divorce, and that's a tricky age no matter what.
It is because, the teens are starting to form their own relationships. They're naturally pulling away from you, I think. At least they did in my household. So we have a great expert with us. She's a licensed marriage and family therapist, Amanda Craig. We're going to put the teen question to you. And over to you, Ed. So, Amanda, what teens are what, 13 to 18?
13 to 18,
Okay,
yes.
talk about a typical behavior in teens outside of divorce. What are they doing?
Well, they are detaching. So they've spent their childhood attaching to their family, and now they are looking to get into the world and try attachment out there.
Okay.
So they're spending more time with their friends. They're spending more time in trial and error, trying to figure out the world on their own, which is why you get some of the rebellion, the rebellious behavior.
And the romantic relationships are starting too.
Yeah.
Make a comment about this. We have a lot of friends who say, we're not going to get divorced until the kids are out of the house. Is that a good idea? Do you think it makes a difference for kids?
It's tough because parents are saying that in such good intention for the children or for the teen, but the reality is teens have often seen the relationship now for 18 years or 17 years, and what have you modeled? And is that what we want to model, that the marriage we want them to be in later? And the other thing is we have spent the 17, 18 years showing them what family is. And now we're taking that vision that's so strong for them, and we've taken it apart. And so they take it so hard to watch their family fall apart when they're in their late teens.
Okay, so how do you know your teen is struggling? So there's this ordinary detachment from the family. How do you know when it's going too far, and how do you make sure they're okay when they're not spending that much time with you?
Or maybe they spend all kinds of time with you all of a sudden. They don't leave and go form healthy relationships.
Well, you bring up an interesting point. So when parents go through a divorce, teens will typically, if they're struggling with it, if they're really angry about it, they may talk about it. They may have kind of feeling identification words by now, but they may also act out. And so it could be, to your point, spending a lot more time at home, almost too much time at home, and not wanting to go out and experience a teenage life. Maybe they're worried about the parent, they're worried about their sadness, and so they want to take care of the parent.
Yeah, I feel like her daughter does that. She's very nurturing and loving and wanted to make sure Jo was okay.
Yeah.
Well, the obvious thing in my mind would be to track your kid and see where they are and who they're hanging out with. Good idea or not a good idea?
Like, here's the thing. I don't mind tracking so much. I think there's some real benefits to it. The problem is parents typically don't use the information well.
What's an example? How could you use the information well?
So you're tracking to make sure they're safe. Now, if every time they walk in the door, you are going to tell them all the things you know about where they were and what they were doing, not only are they going to try to get out of the tracking devices, but they're also going to be really angry because you're not giving them privacy.
Well, this is something you've said to me before. You do not, if your teen is staying away from home, the last thing they want to do is come back and be criticized and
In conflict.
In conflict.
So teens are smart enough where you can have maybe a higher level dialogue than you're going to have with a tween or an elementary. So when they come in, ask how they are. Ask if they want to have some dinner. Ask if they want to hang out and have some dessert with you. We want to try to get them to engage. And if we're criticizing or calling them out on stuff, we are not going to get them to engage. So if you're asking about them out of curiosity, out of care and concern, a mother's love, I want to know you, I want to connect with you, you matter to me and you're important to me. Those are the questions like, how's your day? How was that test? I know you went out with some friends last night. Did you have fun?
That's a great way to put it.
So not interrogating, just curious.
I know you were smoking weed in the forest because I saw you on 360.
Right.
Life 360.
All they're going to do is run away.
Yeah. You gave me great words to use with my now 18-year-old. But when we were going through this, you said, just send him a text and say, hey, I miss you. I'd love to see you. I'm thinking of you. he really responded to that well.
Oh, interesting. Yes, because what you're saying is I care about you.
Yeah.
You matter to me.
Amanda, you've said before, kids need 3 things: to be seen, to be secure, and there's one other that I'm forgetting.
Yeah, soothed.
Soothed.
You're right. So kids and all the way up to 18, they want to be seen. They want to know that you understand them, that you want to know their opinions, you want to know how they're developing. They're changing a lot in these years. And so the more you ask about them, the more they think you see them and care about them is how it translates.
That's great.
And when they are having trouble and they are overwhelmed or having relationship issues or they're struggling with a divorce, we want to help them soothe. We want to help them know their emotions or share the emotions. We want to give them a safe space to talk about things that are tough. And when they cry and we hug them, we're soothing them. And when we let them talk, we're soothing them and showing them how to soothe themselves. And then the other thing is security, and this is why we start tracking them, is we want them to be safe.
Right.
So safe and discipline and boundaries is super important for them to feel boundaried and feel like there's limits.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
And that's how they feel secure.
Absolutely.
No, this is great advice for teens and for everybody. Thank you very much for being here with us. For more information on how to deal with your teens and help them through anything that's really difficult in life, check this out on thesingleprocess.com.